Throughout the pandemic, we have slowly come to learn that COVID-19 is no joke. It is the most severe crisis to hit the world since 1918. With devastating effects bringing the world to a grinding halt, scientists and institutions of public health have been scrambling for ways to contain and eliminate this new virus. The thing is, the virus isn't all that new. We have dealt with coronaviruses before. Originating from bat populations, these viruses mutate to be able to transmit to humans. Besides, we have also dealt with other outbreaks, learning with each occurrence how best to deal with such threats to public health. We all know that preparation is critical in facing any difficulty, but how do you defend yourself against something you don't know about that may not come? Historically, there have been outbreaks of new viruses contained through quarantine and contact tracing well enough that the vaccines being made against them did not get to human trials. However, this doesn't mean that the research goes to waste. They serve as templates for the next virus that might become a problem. The WHO puts out a list of priority diseases that include SARS, MERS, and Ebola so that the world can be prepared for potential outbreaks. This means that professionals are working on solving these problems even before they crop up. Even with previous research to base their work on, it can take years for vaccines to be completed and fully authorized. With the way COVID-19 ramped up so quickly, steps were taken to make viable vaccines and put them out as soon as possible. The first method that helped came from the manner of the technology behind the vaccine works. The ChAdOx1 platform that the author's lab used could be customized to target the virus specifically. It only needed to be primed to do so. Another reason why the Oxford vaccine was produced so quickly because the scientists behind it progressed at risk. This means that they go to the next step of testing before the previous step is complete. Such a method is typically not used as it could waste a lot of time and effort should previous results come back failed. However, in this case, a safe vaccine was successfully made. Synthesizing vaccine doses to meet the demand due to a global pandemic is worlds away from making them in a lab environment. There are also other factors to consider, such as storage and the logistics of transportation. Each of these could mean a barrier to getting those vaccines to people who need them most. And with COVID-19, the whole world required vaccine doses in bulk. However, it's thanks to cooperation between countries and institutions and the pouring in of funding that allowed the vaccine to be produced on larger scales. Although the COVID-19 vaccine was produced relatively quickly, that doesn't mean that its safety or efficacy was ignored to make it available faster. After all, that would defeat the purpose of the vaccine. Like all other medications, the vaccine went through vigorous trials even before being tested on humans. And because the vaccine is meant for such a new and dangerous virus like COVID-19, the scientists that produced the Oxford vaccine were extra careful in their trials. If they weren't, they ran the risk of recipients of the vaccine having a much worse reaction if they contract the virus in the future. Although vaccines against COVID-19 are now readily available, this doesn't mean that the fight against the virus is over. There are still battles to fight for variants of the disease in communities who simply refuse to get vaccinated or adhere to standard procedures against the virus. At the same time, humanity as a whole needs to be prepared for the following new disease to come. With our current agricultural practices and encroachment into wild habitats, a new virus might make itself known at any time. Thus, we need to bulk up our public health policies and research epidemiology and medical technology. Most importantly, we need to trust the scientists that have worked so hard to try and save us all.